Look, the internet loves time travel fantasies where you save Lincoln or invest in Apple stock. But let us be honest for a second. What if the universe handed you a monkey-ass paw version of time travel and said you can only go back exactly one day? No dinosaurs, no winning lottery numbers from last year, just yesterday. Sounds pretty useless, right? Well, according to physics, this might actually be the only version of time travel that does not immediately break the universe. General relativity does allow for closed timelike curves, those funky loops in space-time where you could theoretically meet your past self, but most solutions require rotating black holes or exotic matter that probably does not exist. The good news is that a 24-hour limit would sidestep a lot of paradoxes because you would not have enough time to accidentally erase yourself from existence. You cannot kill your grandfather if he is already an adult living 3,000 miles away, and you definitely cannot prevent your own birth. Stephen Hawking even proposed his chronology protection conjecture. Basically, nature's way of saying the laws of physics have a bouncer that kicks out time travelers before they cause trouble. Recent quantum research by physicist Lorenzo Gavasino suggests that if you did loop back a day, your memory would reset, and entropy would reverse, meaning you would arrive in the past with zero recollection of why you came. So much for fixing yesterday's mistakes. But let us imagine for a second that somehow you keep your memories and you get one do-over per day. What would you actually use it for? The most obvious answer is correcting small disasters. You said something incredibly stupid at dinner. Go back and shut up. You forgot your anniversary. Loop back and buy flowers. You sent a mortifying text to your boss instead of your friend. Reverse it before anyone screenshots. The problem is that even these tiny changes create what physicists call causal loops. If you go back and do not send the embarrassing text, then you never have a reason to time travel in the first place. Which means you do send the text, which means you do time travel, and now your brain hurts. This is called the bootstrap paradox, and it is why Doc Brown was always so stressed. The universe does not love logical contradictions. So either something would stop you from changing anything important, or you would create a branching timeline where the original embarrassing version of you still exists somewhere feeling shame. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics supports this idea. Every decision splits reality into parallel universes. So your time travel just creates another branch where you are slightly less mortified. Now let us talk about what you could not do with a 24-hour limit, which is basically everything interesting. You could not use it for financial gain because stock markets and lottery drawings happen on schedules longer than a day. You could not become a mastermind criminal because planning a heist takes weeks and cameras would still catch you the first time around. You could not even save someone's life unless you happen to know exactly when. And where a tragedy would occur within the last 24 hours, and even in modern physics, suggest you might fail. Experiments on closed timelike curves show that objects traveling backward in time experience something called the Novikov self-consistency principle, where the universe conspires to make sure nothing changes. If you try to stop an accident, you slip on a banana peel. If you warn someone, they do not believe you. Nature has plot armor and it is undefeated. The idea that you could rewrite history even by a single day assumes that time is a river you can dam, but general relativity treats time more like a four-dimensional block where past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. You are not changing the past. You are just wandering into a moment that already happened and discovering you were always there. The psychological impact of 24-hour time travel would be absolutely unhinged. Imagine knowing that every argument, every mistake, every moment of awkwardness could technically be undone, but only if you are willing to relive the entire day. You would become obsessed with optimization. Did you waste 2 hours scrolling on your phone? Go back and be productive. Did you eat too much pizza? Loop back and have a salad. But here is the trap. If you keep redoing the same day to make it perfect, you are stuck in your own personal Groundhog Day, except you are doing it to yourself. Philosophers call this the hedonic treadmill, where constantly chasing a better outcome prevents you from ever being satisfied with the present. Plus, your friends and family would have no idea you are looping. So from their perspective, you would just be weirdly prescient and emotionally exhausted all the time. Research shows that people who ruminate obsessively on past events report higher levels of anxiety and depression, and you would literally be living in the past on purpose. There is also the deeply weird question of identity. If you time travel back 24 hours, are you the same person who lived through that day the first time? Or are you a copy? From a physics standpoint, your atoms are the same atoms, but your brain state is different because you have extra memories. This creates a ship of Theseus problem. If every neuron in your brain is identical but the information is different, are you still you? Some theories suggest that time travelers would experience a kind of quantum superposition where both versions of you exist until you interact with your past self, at which point one version collapses. But since Gavesino's research suggests your memory gets wiped during the loop, maybe you never notice. You just live the same day twice without realizing it, which is either comforting or existentially horrifying depending on your perspective. Either way, 24-hour time travel would not make you a master of your destiny. It would make you a prisoner of recursive anxiety, wondering if today is the real today or just another doomed iteration. So what is the actual scientific takeaway here? If time travel were real and limited to 24 hours, it would be less like a superpower and more like a curse designed by a sadistic physicist. You could not change anything important because causality would stop you. You could not remember why you traveled because entropy would reset, and you could not escape the loop because your own decisions would trap you. The only real use case would be minor conveniences, like avoiding traffic or remembering where you left your keys. And even those would come with a psychological cost of knowing you are stuck in a one-day hamster wheel. The universe does not want you rewriting history, not even a little bit. Time is not a rough draft you can edit. It is a published book where every word is permanent. And honestly, maybe that is for the best. If we could undo every mistake within 24 hours, we would never learn anything, never grow, and never appreciate the irreversible chaos that makes life interesting. So next time you do something embarrassing, just own it. At least you are moving forward.